teams are now discovering that it is actually a good map for them because there's so much that they can do. And lurking is just such an open spot for as well. But look at that, fast opening on B.
My in-game seems to be frozen a little bit.
Oh, is it? Okay, well, they're all planting on me. I'm gonna go play by play when I'm not a native speaker. It's gonna be a little bit tough.
Oh, yeah. You can take it. It's back. So that wall, really solid wall. It covers top, it covers bottom, allows them to get on the side, use the wall for extra cover as well. Alliance now in the post plant, you've got a 4v4. So Wave, they want to group up and get back in. Now, they don't have a lot to deny the positions of Alliance, so they first clear out with a nade towards back yellow to secure that control, open an angle to fight on, and Muri on the raise, dominating on those duels with a ghost headshot delivered again, finishes with a body, and it's now a 1v3, unwinnable at that point. Muri coming in hot.
Yeah, and you know what's even more like impressive? What the Wave allowed basically to do and set up for themselves is that Muri will have a very fast ultimate, and this is gonna be instrumental for round 3, because if he's gonna be able to get one frag with an ultimate on round 3 on a full buy from Alliance, this is gonna take a huge dent into Alliance economy, or even just an entire round. So this is something they have to be aware of. Now probably Muri will gonna play for an orb somewhere on B or on A, because it's an against eco, they can just cover him, and it's a free orb for the ultimate.
Let's try to go back there and quickly take a look at VODs, because when I look at Muri's profile, it doesn't say that he played Viper ever, but in the last 2 games they played on Icebox, on the scoreboard it said he did. So I don't know if that's some confusion with the API data or what, but it's interesting. There's a little bit of a gap to play off of, but that's obviously why you put the wall down as well, but it's not covered. Zeke just runs through and takes the kill. Massive opening now, because that denies the spike plant, buys time to break the wall, and this now becomes very difficult to get any sort of a plant on. It's really big from Wave. A 4v2, they've locked the players out, but they have left the A side open. They can't catch the spike crossover, and with Reyna already in position up on A, Kata could be able to do some big, or Kriya, excuse me, could be able to do some big damage if he gets up close with that frenzy. It's checking the angle, sees the foot, there's the pre-fire and the kill. Now up to 150 health, reloaded. This is one of the things about Reyna, right? You get your armor back, so it can still be viable to play that frenzy. One player coming up behind who hasn't yet been spotted. Feroth could be in a little bit of trouble. He's being shot at, and Muri takes him down. It's all up to Kriya, and he gets one. Fades out of there right away. Down to the 1v1, low HP on the raise up above. The spray's not quite hitting. Low health as Kriyagon comes around the corner. It's going to be stuck halfway. He comes off it, and Muri, he's insane for the 4K, putting it up 2-0.
How is Kriyagon allowed to do that? Like, there was a good setup, but they lined up a little bit. Nico and Karkas just kind of played against each other because Sky blocked the vision from Jet, and Jet couldn't initially just start shooting at Kriyagon, and he got a double kill with one clip of a frenzy. Taking into account of that, right? This is basically a classic on steroids. It deals the same amount of damage up close as the classic, so it requires 2 headshots. So this is actually quite nuts. And also taking into account that he had to control like 7 bullets going into 4 times on the head level for 2 different people. Nuts.
Somebody at Riot's getting a pat in the back now. Oh, Karkas, that's a very aggressive early peek. He dashes through, even through the wall. Obviously, the attempt there to catch them off guard. Had there have been nobody inside that garage, I think it would have been a very successful push, because when you hear that dash, you'll probably presume he's up above and not actually all the way coming up behind you. So I like the attempt with the weaker weapons. You try to make it work and catch your opponents off guard, but it doesn't work here, leaving a man advantage for Alliance now to push up. But they're going to take it nice and slow. Again, sensing that over-rotate that came through in the previous round where they left A open, they've allowed Kriyagon to lurk, and the timing, he's crossed over on the A site, got up behind and taken down Tribune. That's a massive kill, opening up the A site and allowing them now to get the plant.
Grenade will allow to delay the plant, and he still has the ultimate available, as I mentioned before, which is very big now. Will he go for it? He knows that Kriyagon is still somewhere next to him, so he cannot be aggressive with it. In the meantime, Feared got a kill, Kriyagon goes down, so the biggest raid boss possible is not available anymore for the defenses. 2 versus 4 retake. This is gonna be tough.
Yeah, especially with the weapons. You know, Muri was the only one with the Vandal. He found himself 1 kill, but you don't really expect a lot from him after that. And just for extra security, that snake bite thrown through for the post plan in case he was able to sneak up.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Wave allowed Kriyagon to just kind of lyric A again. I don't think there was any reason to kind of leave A unattended. There was still, you know, a lot of time to process of what was happening on the map. We had 4 versus 5. There was no bomb planted. They saw that Alliance wasn't even next to yellow on B side, and because of that, I feel like the over rotation went too fast, and they lost the control of A and got a freebie. I mean, Alliance got a freebie on A.
So I think they were actually setting up to play the retake on that one, because when they were jiggle peeking the angle, it's how Krigon got across without being detected. I think the whole logic was that they would let them cross, get the info, and then play, but just the timing completely screwed them. Krigon's just lurking out on middle here, but remember, these guys only have classics, so you expect Alliance to win this round relatively cleanly, and it was an attempt from Wave to push all the way through A. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, but the one thing I really dislike about the round 3 was the fact that we didn't see the Raze ultimate. You know, I feel like keeping it in such an early stage of the game could actually turn the game around, because even if he gets 1 kill and the round is still lost, it does build up economy or destroys the economy for your opponents a little bit, and you can still get the orbs in the next rounds. Like, just, you know you're gonna play eco, so you know you're gonna die, you're probably gonna get aggressive, you can get that orb, so you build up that old economy on and on and on. And it seems like Alliance, and I kind of look at the stats that I had for Alliance on my notes, really like to play aggressive B, like, and it's the same over and over and over again. This is the 4th round and 5th round, sorry, and we already have seen 5 times a aggressive B push from Alliance.
And you can, oh, look at that, straight through the wall. Krigon with a brave play, wanted to try and recover the man disadvantage that they had, but instead he falls, and now you're left into this, well, what was a bad situation. The res, the kill, pulls it right on back. And you've got Looker trying to catch them as they push forward to play off of those little squids. But the Seekers aren't going to find anybody, unfortunately. What are they supposed to be, the Seekers, or are they just little
Jellyfishes?
Jellyfish. I never noticed, because they're in the air, but that's fair enough.
I mean, there's also Icebox.
Well, there you go. Okay, well,
but yeah, but
frozen in place then.
Sky has, you know, birds, Tasmanian tiger, jellyfishes, and I guess a flower.
A healing flower. Oh, that's a bad miss for Carcass. He's allowed a crossover, but he at least got the information. Left. Can continue to hold it and cost utility as they cross. They don't have a lot of time, but look at this. That's a perfect fake. They think that those are smokes to cross to the left side, or at least that's the intention, but instead they're going back to B. Wall goes up, but this could easily be a fake. They could be on the A site now, just popping it up. There's no information to play off of, but now here it comes. The plant, the wide peak. They have to cover it. They have to cover it hard, and there's the time. The showstopper comes in to completely stop that plant. Through the wall, Muri saves the day, and it's all over and done with. Firoth hasn't got time in the 1v2, and the round is won again by Muri. This guy is on fire.
I loved how they played. I really loved how they played. He knew that if that was a double fake and Alliance were gonna go back on B, he has the upper hand. The wall was already used. They had nothing that can stop the wall bang from either side, actually, right? One from the crates that are on site, and from the other one from the tube that Muri had. So good placement, good wall bangs as well, and the ultimate paid dividends in this round. It allowed him to stop the first plant. So crucial placement from Muri. Loved it. But I have to give credit to Alliance. The execution, the double fake, was really nice.
It was a good attempt, but really well thought through by Wave. They were ready for that 100%. I like this change-up as well. They still have the passive A player with Reyna, but Jett has come to support, playing up above, but got a little bit greedy. Wanted to peek out and see if there was somebody there. Instead, Hype's able to get the kill, able to pop this ult, which stops you from pretty much doing anything on the site. But it's all still a fake. The thing is, though, Wave haven't bought it. They've realized that, okay, till there's a spike plant, we're not rotating. Muri stayed in the same position he's played before over by Snowman, but Krigon peeks it, takes him down, and leaves Zeke pretty much alone for now. He has to play relatively passive, but that wall means there's only one angle they can approach from. Hype has managed to spot out one and take him down, but there's Krieg dealt with. A 4v2 that's perfectly winnable for Wave. The HP of Zeke can be healed back up by Skye. It'll cost a little bit of time, is the only downside. Or maybe she hasn't even got it online because she's not using it. Time is low, the spams through the smoke take down Nico, and that's the round surely done and dusted, but hold on! Zeke's got other ideas, a 3k, but not the ace. Cut off by Kata up on top of the boxes to put it 3-3. That was a really good attempt by Zeke as well, man. We're seeing the firepower of Wave show up.
For sure, but I really loved how Alliance played out this round. Basically, so far, we have only seen Alliance being super aggressive on B opener and then change it up depending on what just goes on during the round. In this round, we have seen double lurking, actually. One on A, one on B, while the team was waiting what's gonna happen. And because of the, let's say, Viper's effectiveness of her skills, like how effective are her skills, she covered both B with the smoke and the wall, while her ultimate allowed to basically fake an entire A. So one agent basically double faked both sides, which allowed the Alliance to make a more concise plan and go for the plant at some point and win the entire run. Really love this wall, different wall than we have seen from before. Good plan. This is something that we didn't see a lot from other teams. Alliance is mixing up the plant spots. I love this because it's so hard then to actually play as a defender. You don't know how to approach this. What is the new angle? How is the map control? Because
he's the one, he's tucked up in the corner and they don't expect it. We're talking about how different things are, how new these positions of the spike plant is. But Looker, he just underlines that point by saying, what about my position? Nobody knows that I'm here, because you're not used to that post plant. And that's a new one we haven't seen from Alliance before. Well, we haven't really seen Icebox before as well, but it's a new thing thrown in there. One other point I want to make quickly is that Carcass and Hype, they're former teammates. We got the Lithuanian duo, or should I say the Lithuanian duo. That's only a handful of people are going to get that, but they used to play together over in Counter-Strike, so now they're coming up against each other here, and it's, I think, going to be a little bit of a mental game. So far, though, Carcass is having a pretty tough start for the Operator player. I think he's yet to get on the board. Yeah, he's 0-7, so James Bond happening right now. It's unlucky a little bit. Very aggressive push from Alliance for the first time. Nice hold by Zeke, but then the dash unfortunately puts confusion in his cross replacement. Yeah, that's the thing, right? You pop the flash, you dash, and then what are you going to do? You're going to follow the guy dashing. Instinctively, another player peeks, kills you. Your crosshair isn't lined up. Your crosshair placement is no longer something to be worried about. Now, you got the Wolf going through to clear the close angles. It's going to actually, they realize that this is a very aggressive, very defensive, post plan. And the reason for this, look at where we've got Viper and Sova. They have all their utility up. They've got, because this round was so quick, right? They've still got the snake bites. They've still got the shock darts. So now, good luck in getting that diffused. You have to bait out the shock darts, the ult. You have to bait out the snake bite. There's so much to worry about. Looker dropped and hold on. Nico's got himself a double. This is doable until he's left by himself. A huge double by Hype to make this round pretty much unwinnable for Nico as he goes in to defuse it. It's not even halfway, and Hype swings out to save the day and secure the round. That is going to be... Whoa, Hype, run. He was thinking about what skin he wanted and didn't realize the spike was about to blow up.
Yeah, it was like, what, half a second off or something?
Yeah, just about. You saw the round ended pretty quickly.
Yeah. But I love how Alliance mix it up, and I just wanted to go back to the round when we have seen Lacker get that quadra kill, right, on B. What I love about this team composition is that both Sage and Viper basically shape the environment around them, and we have seen this in those runs. But hold this thought, because this is a massive hold. But Kata with a double kill.
How many more are they going to expect, though? This is the thing, the crossfires that they've got, it's dealt with, but that was such a nice setup from Wave. With Nico up close, he's able to take them down, but they're not even focusing on clearing the corner because they see his teammate behind, a little further back, just outside of that gray box, who is peeking, distracting them. He goes back around the corner, Nico takes one, he takes two, but it's not enough because they don't win the duels. It's a low buy, and that's where I love seeing, like, when you've got your sheriffs and weaker weapons, I love seeing those kind of stacks attempt, especially with how consistently Alliance have been hitting the B site. That's a really good read by Wave, which again, it just didn't work out, so it doesn't look that great, but it was a really well thought through.
I mean, depends on what you think is a good outcome, right? They killed a few players, hurt the economy, I think it was still okay. Also got some orbs. So I think it was quite a valiant effort. But I have to give to the observers, by the way, some props, because those overshot views are actually quite beautiful and give a lot of information to us.
Exactly. It's nice to be able to see all the utility coming in those situations, right?
Right.
This is a big change. So for Wave, they're again going to be locked out. Oh, the wall went up at just the wrong time. I don't know if he caught that, but I don't know if they've even noticed the fact that their orb, what am I talking orbit? Their poison orb isn't actually where they want it to be. It's not on the spike right now. It's just, there it is in front of him at the broken wall. So that denies a lot of utility, and it's all down to timing and not being ready for that wall to go up. Kriegon, he goes through the smoke, caught in a bit of an awkward fight, heals up, doesn't go for the dismiss, and that could be a fatal error. A 3 versus 1 as Kata takes another, and they double peek into the final. So it works out okay in the end, but a little bit of a hiccup on that push to A.
Yep. But so far, Alliance seems very consistent on the attack rounds, and we know Icebox is favoring the attackers a little bit. And by the way, I think this is a healthy balance to the competitive scene, right? If the maps are a little bit attackers based, because otherwise the attackers will be reluctant to actually execute anything if they would be, like, you know, always handicapped by the map design. So I love how Icebox favors them. Because of that, we have consistent pushes, good executes that are not just basically, you know, decreasing the confidence in the team.
Fast play by Alliance towards B is nothing to be surprised about. And we'll see how this one works out, though, because again, Kriegon, he's going to go through, but doesn't even pop the flash. This time he just feels like his raw aim is going to win him the duels, and indeed it is. You can see the confidence is stacking up now for Alliance and Wave. This is a kind of round where it can really throw you off. The wall just goes up and a player runs through instantly. You can't predict that. But versus the weaker weapons, it is a risk, but one that is at least giving them some dividends for now. Baiting out the plant to... Ooh, that's a nice little bounce. But baiting out the plant to try and see if any utility comes through, any spam, so they can spam on back and take the kills, but nothing's going to happen. And even with the... No, it's not the buffed Marshall, actually, never mind. But
that's gonna be a new metagame, by the way. But yeah, I think so. But the gun requires so much practice. It's so different than the other guns in the game, and requires without really consistent counter strafing, I don't think you can shoot it well, you know. And also you can just basically zoom peek with the new buff, because there's almost no difference in the movement speed. So
90%.
Yeah, and it's so cheap. It's 1k. Right, for 1k you basically have a consistent shotgun that deals always 100 damage, and if it's a headshot, then, you know, it is what it is. But
and your other option of the Stinger is now 1.1k, and it's slightly less effective. Slightly, but still. Ooh, I like this mid-crunch that's going on by Wade. Now, we mentioned how they can't necessarily maintain the control in the same way. The res is popped, but immediately there's a peek to try and trade out that kill or stop the res from coming through altogether. Alliance handle it, but still leave it into a 3 versus 3. Going back to the default of moving to the B site, they have to run through an enemy wall. And with the ult pop, this is where the decision-making comes into effect. Fearoth is trying to spam and delete this player. If they can drop that ult, or if they could have in the last few seconds, then this would have left them in a position where they could actually go for it. The other side of the coin, though, is the fact that because they have the wall up, they don't have the info. They can't see if this is 1 or 2 players. Fearoth spams up close, goes to back yellow, and spams there as well. He's giving away like, hey, yeah, there's lots of players here, guys, so that this rotate can come through. Waver being conscious of it being an A-hold, but instead, Alliance are going back through the tube. It's being watched, though. We got to take a look at Sky, who's about to take a fight and take Kriegon down. Now caught up behind the door. Seeker goes out, trying to distract some fire and indeed absorb some bullets. Looker healing up, but he's so low right now, swinging out. He's not expected to go back around this angle. Now if he checks it, but he walks right past. Huge position by Nico, big kill, and it's finished off by Zeke to put 8 on the board for Alliance, but at least the 4 for Wave at the halftime.
Yeah, I mean, I will have to say, Alliance plays really well, and Wave a little bit outgunned. Like, Karkas has a really tough game, 1-12 on the board. He's not, you know, he's not pulling the weight for the team, but still 8-4 is not as disastrous as one would think on this map. So if Wave has a consistent attack side just like Alliance had, this might be pretty close, but right now they're being outgunned. And by the way, one thing I wanted to mention, the round where Kriegon just pushed through the Viper wall, I don't think if you saw it, but there was a boom bot going through the wall, and Kriegon exactly knew when to cross the Viper wall to not get spotted by the boombot. It was actually such a small detail, but that allowed him to push and get that kill.
Yeah, indeed. I actually didn't notice that in the moment. One of those things, there's so much going on. Glad you caught it. Alliance in here to a 4 versus 2, quickly dismissing this pistol round, but hold on. You're going to be left down to Nico, and Nico has been damn solid. Not only that, but he's got a Frenzy in his hands. No armor, of course. Frenzy now costing 500 means you can't get your armor up, but because he was investing into flashes, it didn't quite matter. He was happy to take that weapon.
Wait, we're playing on two, right?
Oh, are we? Of course, yeah. So the Frenzy is still costing
400, it's the frenzy pistol rounds, you know?
Oh, of course, yeah, this week. This will be the second last day, right? And then next week. My bad. Completely forgot that. Thank you, Lothar. Down to 1v1, but Nico doesn't actually know where this final player is. That's the only downside for him, but he suspects he's on A, because he was before, right? This is 30-second old info, but especially after that kill, if he isn't on A, if he was holding mid or something, he's rotated at this point.
I don't believe any professional duo would just not play together.
He's being faked by the wall! He's being faked by the wall! Left. We just had the wall go up from Alliance, and Nico spotted it and thought, oh no, he's probably holding it, so he rotates back to A. He's going to walk right on the site. If he thinks that he's on the B site, surely he's not even going to check this close right corner. He does! He checks it! Wow, well done by Nico to catch that shot and still be proactive in clearing the corners. That was a big fake, and then he got sold. I thought he was dead to rights, but he still just about manages to get that shot in.
I don't think he was scared because of the wall, but I thought that what went into Nico's head is, he popped the wall, so he's rotating towards B right now from A. Because if I am in a situation when I play 1 versus 2 on any given round, 2 really experienced players in my opponent's team will have to play together and just play retake against the one guy. It's such an easy round, so they will never be separate in the beginning of the rounds. Sorry, at the retake scenarios. So this is why he went for that B and then fought the Viper already rotating.
There we go, the dash through up above. They're going on the zip line. They're going all over, trying to pressure Wave, but the kills are coming in. This is looking pretty damn solid from Wave. I like the shift of momentum, right? Typically, we're seeing Alliance play a very, very fast attacking side. Now Wave come in and they're like, we don't care that you're on an eco. We're still going to bring it to you. We're going to send it fully, and they only lose 1 player for it. Sometimes that is just the way to go instead of playing it slow.
Yep, that is correct. And from what I see, Alliance on full buy rounds really likes to push the B long as well on defense, which is interesting. Maybe you can shed some light on that.
I don't know. I know nothing.
Okay. I mean, you know, we have a Lucker who probably cuts off Kitchen with his wall in most of the rounds, unless he goes for like a cheeky angle somewhere on a boost on B, maybe on the stack, or maybe on A. But that allows the B to be aggressive. In the meantime, we have an aggressive round from Wave, but it's being stopped by Lucker and Hype.
Yeah, the split that they went for, I think Looker got on top of the wall. I'm not 100% sure, but he took the kill either way as the wall was being put up. This is pretty huge now because Wave, that wall, like, they can't do anything. They can't do a damn thing. As soon as Zeke fell there, when Looker found that kill, you don't have your Sage wall because it was used to try and use that B split, which was shut down. So your Sage is out of the equation now for that plant. Then you're like, okay, well, at least we've got the Viper wall and Zeke's dead. So now you've got nothing.
I'm actually very confused. Why did we see Sage push mid when it's such a, like, let's say, dangerous route to take to the side, right? And then she's on an off angle for that wall. That wall is so crucial for the plant because it's so easy to just spam every single wall to damage the planter. So I find that a little bit confusing of what was the plan there. But at the same time, we have seen the difference between Wave and Alliance in those runs where Alliance put a lot of pressure by having lurkers that wait for the proper execution, while here we had the mid push by 2 players that was just insta stop, and then the B push was basically stopped because of that as well.
Seekers coming in, Fearot's in trouble trying to drop out of heaven. Now for Wave, they're just overwhelming the site, but Looker, luckily, able to grab himself a kill. 8 bullets left as he swings around, down to 3. Needs to go for the reload pretty soon, and now he's got cover from his teammates to do so. It's left all down to Nico as Hype swings with another Phantom frag, and Nico, he catches 1, almost the second. That would have been damn close if he took down Hype. I don't know Looker would have been able to trade in time. We could have had a big 1v3, but no, it's not to be. And so double digits now for Alliance as Wave just about on that 6.
good effort by Wave, but it seems like the thing that they're missing is crucial. Something that we have seen over and over on Icebox is that lurker role. You know, that what we have seen so far puts the most pressure on the defenders. Is whenever there's an attack, there's one guy somewhere on the map that catches off the rotations, or this allows to not rotate easily through the fastest routes. And this is a problem with Wave. They don't have that right now during the attacks. All of the attacks kind of like a brute force that goes somewhere, and that's it.
Oh, speaking of brute force, there's a brute force out on mid. Oh, the shot missed by Kata, but the ult popped for security. Tribune quickly connecting the headshot, and Wave now have the spike plant, the site control. They don't have the weapons. They haven't recovered much weaponry, but at least they've got that advantage in the spike plant, so they can play off of that. Now, in terms of post-plant utility, you've got snake bites probably, but not a whole bunch outside of that. And now with the ult down, it's going to be very hard to spam on the back of those snake bites. Hype moves out of the way, so he's not going to take the double damage, waits for it to fade. Now with the Phantom as well, this is the perfect weapon for this kind of engagement. Second snake bite down already, but a 1v2 to win out. He clears the close corner, a player creeping up on his left, but he doesn't quite see him. And as he goes in for this kill, he might not be ready for this flank to come in just off his screen, but Hype gets it done. I don't think there's time. It's going to be tight,
there is.
But he gets it. 0.9 of a second left as Alliance connect 11 rounds. This was a massive eco, first of all, from Wave, but a heartbreaking loss in the end.
Yeah, I really loved how both Vipers played this out. The snake is right being used either to stop the diffuses. The snake bite from Hype was used to stop an angle push from Wine's side, which allowed to give him more time, and for the Sova player to basically get an angle for another defender that has had to push to stop the spike diffuse. So really well thought out, and fortunately Hype did have that ultimate. Without that one would have not been possible for the retake.
It's a shame, though, that Tribune continue to play so aggressively. If he tucks in, you win that round because he's not diffusing, right? 0.9 of a second, all you got is delay. And I'm sure he's going to be kicking himself. It's one of those really hard rounds to take from morale. But look, you got to turn around. You got to tell yourself, hey, that was an eco. We still did so well. Now we've got the weapons. This is where you make it work. It hasn't started out in a fantastic fashion. They've lost Muri, who had the showstopper online, but they've managed to trade back. With Kriegon down, Firoth playing up above. He's played here a number of times before, but there's plenty of backup. 3 players now on the A site. Do Wave make this read? With the res coming through, you should do. You know there's at least 3 because Firoth's been playing here, so the rotate to B seems quite likely. The only problem is they haven't got control. That's what Zeke is trying to do. He's pushing up through the tube, managed to make his way into halls, but the player he's looking for is in Snowman. Knowing that they've given up so much mid control, he wants to play this very, very passive. The heals just went through from Nico there to bring everybody back up to full health. Hype is about to fire a snake bite. 30 seconds left. He just needs to delay, and at this point you might almost consider not planting default, although they have a small gap in which they can still plant, trying to bait the player out into peeking while Zeke takes this super slow. Thunder's Fury denies the initial plant, tries to get more damage. I think that's the tag as well, but Hype is taken down. Here comes the ult from Zeke. This is a really well played round, but hold on, they're down low on time, rushing around. Zeke wants to plant for mid, knowing the others are coming in through spawn, gets it down with 3 seconds left, but can he get out of there? No, he can't. Kriegon deals with him. Carcass, he's at a slow game, but now the 1v1, his health so low, he doesn't know if Kriegon's back up on full. Could have healed up, but the knife out, so unnecessary, and a mistake that cost the round, with Carcass coming in hot with an ace.
My god, what an amazing round because of the utility being used. I really loved how Hype delayed the plant, which in the combination with Firoth's ultimate from Sova allowed basically to not only get so much damage on the players, but also just stop the plant for such a long time. So Wave was pushed to plant in a very, let's say, unfamiliar spot for a post plant. But why did we see that knife out from Kriegon? That's a head scratcher. That was something that was not necessary, especially since he for sure got the info that Carcass is on his last breath. He had been, I think, at 25 HP. It was very similar to what Kriegon had. So to just one bullet, he could have even maybe spammed those doors. Maybe he was just hiding there, right? But that swing of a knife did cost him his life.
Yeah, and I think it's no surprise we're having a pause coming through here now. Alliance are going to want to take a breather after that one. Those kind of things, taking your knife out, it's a bad habit, and a lot of players have it. The thing is, it's not very easy to just go, oh, well, it's a mistake when it's such an important round. You got to take time, you got to take a breather, and again, look at what you've just seen from your opponent. Wave have gone through some pretty complicated rounds here, and so it's time to start assessing on the ground in the moment what you're seeing. The rounds are back live in front of your eyes, and you can see that, at least to start this one off, things aren't going too well for Alliance. They try aggression down B. This is something you'll see from Pith on G2 a lot, but instead of it being the Viper player, so as to keep the utility, it was the Reyna. I'm a fan of that change-up, not surprisingly, but it doesn't work out as Kriegon falls. Now you've got Hype left to maintain the site, while the rest of the team have given up A control and are trying to scrap around middle. But now, as they've not spotted anything, it's time to settle back into defaults, in fact, a B-heavier defense, and see what Wave do next.
I really like how defensive Wave just switched up the gears and went to the defensive stance on attack right now, because they know that Alliance likes to push a little bit on the defense as well, especially when they have an advantage. But this is discipline from Alliance right here. They're just waiting out. They know they have the advantage. They don't need to push. With such a score, 7-11, they have every advantage possible, including economy, and they got another kill. Still 4 versus 3 for the retake.
Kata had to take that peek because players, the control of the right side was completely gone because Alliance were so heavy on B. So he peeks out the left side to try and grab another kill and maintain some control for this solo A defense, but it doesn't work out. Lookers shut down. Wave are looking so damn good right now, but hold on, 2 quick kills right back into it. Hype, he's got an angle where they can't actually shoot him with that off, but he can't get it done because Nico comes in swinging like Tarzan up on those vines and finds the kill quite quickly. It's 11-8 now as Wave close in that gap.
Hype is popping off, by the way, 21-9. And Karkas is picking up. Look at that. He's actually on the second place on the scoreboard with 12 kills. And was he 2-12 on the defense, or was it 3-12? He got 1 ace, so his confidence is back, and that might actually be a winning factor for Wave. They needed him to show up.
Yeah, they were definitely struggling when Karkas wasn't there, but now things are changing for sure. Muri was just spotted coming through that smoke, but Hype had a snake bite out, wants to try and deny that spike plant. Seekers go out, they're spotting players and pushing Alliance back, opening some space for this plant to come through. They know there's no one too close. Dealing with Hype, the frenzy from afar, of course, not going to do too much damage. And as much as Alliance were hoping this would be a mid or A hit, all the players came through B. The choke point wasn't being held, and that gives a nice and easy round, at least should be, to Wave. Still some utility to play off of, but it's not even going to get time to be deployed, despite the 1 headshot from Looker. It's a 1v4, and Cat is pretty much down and out of this round. You don't really want to save the 25 armor. You're not going to use the Sheriff next round, so you go for it, but Muri takes him with a 3rd, and that is 11-9. Only 2 rounds now between these teams. Things are certainly getting scary for Alliance.
Especially since they're actually on a low economy, right? Firod has 4.9, but before his buy, so I'm not sure how much he have to spend. He will most likely buy a rifle, but then probably still the utility has to be spent on. No, he has the maximum, so it's only 2k spare for Alliance. This is the do or die basically, because if they're not gonna win this round, they're gonna get the bonus from losing a round, but it's still a low buy then with small shields. So this is a crucial round for Alliance right now to seal basically the deal for this entire match. They get the first blood.
So the screen went down, Kata peeks, takes the kill, nice and clean start for Alliance. But it's 4 players towards the B side. The faith that they have in Kriegon to hold down A right now is inspiring, almost. He's only on a passive angle, so they're happy to play retake, knowing that they still have so much utility to play off of, and they don't have the Sage Wall. So it makes it a little bit tougher if you want to go in for the retake, not being able to block out the lower route, but still something to work with, especially because Wave seem to just consistently plant in a spot that they can't hold with weapons from above. Another frag for Looker, and at this point, what do you do if you're Wave?
I feel like this is the moment where you have to be passive, and you just hope someone makes a mistake from Alliance, because you cannot just brute force yourself on a side. You're gonna be at a numbers disadvantage and most likely outgunned at that point, even if it goes 1-for-1. Then Alliance wins by 2. So taking some risks for some gunfights, get a kill, rotate back. But the thing is, they're running out of time right now. They have to execute.
Showstopper out, might actually find a couple of victims. There were 2 players above, but it's only Krieg on to fall, and Nico's left all by his lonesome, swung on, killed. The problem in this round, and I'll tell you exactly what it was for Wave. Sure, in the 3v5, they had 55 seconds when they started to fall back. I agree. You gotta hope that your opponent makes a mistake. Now, are they likely to push with a 2-man advantage? Not really.
Probably
so
not.
you waited out, as they did, right? They waited. They went to the A site. They waited for someone to push, but they got spotted by, I think it was a drone. That kind of ruins your round at that point because you're done, right? They know you're there. I don't know if they saw all 3, but the problem was Hype had pushed B. He went all the way through. You're hoping the push comes on A, but it came on B. Now you're screwed because there are 4 players on that A site, and you're going to need a miracle to come out on top of it. That orb comes out very, obviously, as quick as it could, but they should know that there's players crossed into Tube. Looker gets caught off guard, though, leaving Wave with the advantage, and they just back off. That's a big vacuum of control now that Alliance need to react to.
Yeah, I really loved how they just fell back from that position. I'm actually kind of surprised that there was no wall from Alliance to just stop the push. There was no wall actually anywhere on the site, right?
But they didn't put down the orb. They didn't activate the orb on mid to allow the players to cross out a tube, so those guys just got screwed on the cross back, and Op was holding it, and you're dead. That's a really peculiar decision. I don't know if it was timing that Zeke just ran out because he was very low, but if you're told, okay, I have no more poison, you don't just well, you can cross in the open, but that's the risk, right? That you run into that. I would be a much bigger fan of waiting 10 seconds, 5 seconds, pop it back up, and then cross over. But
there's still also Jet there. Those Raisin Jet who crossed, so there was still like smokes from Jet available. So it's kind of peculiar. But now, Plan goes down, but it's Kada who puts the nail in the coffin for the second defender. And 1 versus 4, not really a good spot to be in. Nico, again, by the way, he is the last man standing for Wave every single round, but it's still